Let me tell you about Eric. Eric shows up to work looking stressed as hell. Again. For the 5th time this year, he's about to beg his boss for a salary advance because his receptionist paycheck vanishes before he even sees it. While rehearsing his pathetic speech, he spots Kate arriving for her shift. Same job, same salary. But Kate never seems broke. In fact, she just got back from a 2-week vacation while Eric can't even afford a weekend getaway. That day, Eric finally grows a spine and asks her straight, "How the hell do you manage on this garbage salary when I'm drowning?" The truth is, most people are like Eric, not Kate. They're one unexpected bill away from complete financial disaster. They work 40+ hours a week, but have nothing to show for it except stress, debt, and the constant fear of checking their bank balance. This isn't just about being broke. It's about being trapped in a cycle that destroys your mental health and steals your future. Habit number 1, budget like your life depends on it, because it does. Kate's system isn't complicated. It's brutally simple. The moment her paycheck lands, she slices it up using the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for survival essentials, rent, utilities, food. 30% for personal spending. 20% straight to savings. Before Eric can make excuses, Kate shuts him down. She didn't start at 20% savings either. I started with a measly 5% and gradually cranked it up while cutting the non-essential crap from my life. The result? I never depend on credit cards. That's just borrowing misery from your future self. Here's what most people get wrong. They budget backward. They pay for everything they want first, then try to save whatever's left, which is usually nothing. That's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You have to reverse the order, save first, then spend what remains. Eric loves the idea of not being financially desperate, so the next month, he tracks every dollar. The harsh truth hits him like a brick. Unlike Kate, he's blowing over half his income on personal garbage. He upgraded his phone twice in the past year alone for no actual reason. When he admits this to Kate, she shares her 3-question filter that stops impulse purchases cold. Do I actually need this right now? Will my life be fine without it? Will I still have enough money after buying this? Reality check. Eric didn't need those phone upgrades. They created more problems than solutions and left him broke afterward. The bottom line, plan your expenses at the start of each month and brutally slash anything that isn't essential. And here's the thing most financial gurus won't tell you. Discomfort now leads to comfort later. The temporary pain of budgeting is nothing compared to the chronic pain of perpetual financial stress. Your future self is begging you to start today. Habit number 2, question every regular expense that's bleeding you dry. Hungry and tired of crunching numbers, Eric goes out to buy lunch. The hotel where he works sits in an upscale area, so options are expensive. He drops $10 on a mediocre sandwich and drink. Back at the break room, he notices Mike from the cleaning staff eating from a container. The food looks and smells incredible. "What did that cost you?" Eric asks. "About $5 to make it home," Mike replies, looking surprised. "Plus, I'm not throwing away plastic containers every day, so I save even more over time." Simple math. Mike saves $5 every single day compared to Eric. That's $25 a week, $100 a month, $1,300 a year, just from one small habit change. The problem isn't the big expenses that kill your finances. It's the daily financial paper cuts you don't even notice. That $5 coffee you grab every morning, that's $1,825 a year. The subscription services you barely use, another $1,000 gone. The delivery fees because you're too lazy to pick up your own food, hundreds more. Eric's eyes open wide to how much money he's hemorrhaging daily on small expenses. He realizes he's been telling himself the same lie most people do. It's just a few dollars, it doesn't matter. But it does matter. A lot. Small, regular expenses aren't just expenses, they're financial death by 1,000 cuts. Question every recurring cost in your life, no matter how insignificant it seems. For every regular expense in your life, ask yourself, if I multiply this by 365 days or 12 months, would I still think it's worth it? Most of the time, the answer is a hard no. Habit number 3, live below your means, not above them. Eric finally faces the truth. While his lifestyle appeared better on the surface, he was suffering because his spending outpaced his earning. He'd grown accustomed to a life that cost more than his reality could support. Yes, cutting back desires and living within actual means is challenging. but it beats the slow strangulation of unnecessary debt. The hardest pill to swallow in personal finance is this: your lifestyle should be determined by your income, not by what everyone else is doing, not by what social media tells you to want, and certainly not by what credit card companies say you can afford. Your financial peace depends on accepting your actual reality, not the one you wish you had. He starts researching income organization and finds a game-changing tip from a finance podcast: delete all autofill payment options and saved credit cards from frequently visited shopping sites. This creates a buffer of time between impulse and purchase, forcing him to confront exactly how much money is leaving his account before hitting buy. Remember this: your brain is wired to want immediate gratification. Companies know this and make buying as frictionless as possible. Your job is to add friction back into the equation. Make it harder to spend money, and you'll spend less of it. The temporary discomfort of saying no is nothing compared to the permanent stress of debt. Habit number 4, build an emergency fund no matter what. One afternoon, a hotel guest arrives at reception. Eric notices the guy has shown up 2 days early. When asked what happened, the guest explains he had to change his flight due to an emergency and would pay for 2 additional nights. Eric is stunned when the man pulls out cash instead of a credit card. How could anyone have spare money for unexpected 300+ expenses? The guest shares a powerful story. Growing up, his family struggled financially. His mother always kept 2 extra bags of rice in the cupboard as a backup plan. From this experience, the guest learned to maintain what he called an emergency fund. This allowed him to weather temporary crises or even job loss for several months without spiraling into debt. An emergency fund isn't just another savings account. It's financial body armor against life's inevitable shitstorms. Here's what most people fail to understand: emergencies aren't rare exceptions. They're absolutely guaranteed to happen. Your car will break down. Your roof will leak. You might lose your job. Medical bills will pop up. The only question is, will you be ready when they do? Start with just $500. That's enough to handle most minor emergencies without going into debt. Then build it up to 1 month of expenses, then 3 months, then 6. Each milestone gives you more breathing room and less anxiety. The peace of mind from knowing you can handle financial surprises is worth more than any luxury purchase you could make. It's the difference between sleeping soundly and lying awake at night, wondering how you'll pay next month's rent. So, what happened to Eric after learning these 4 habits? He implements everything he learned. He stops buying things he wants but doesn't need, starts meal prepping at home instead of buying overpriced lunches, manages his money to prevent overspending, builds his first emergency fund from scratch. The change doesn't happen overnight. There are slip-ups and moments of weakness. Sometimes Eric sees friends buying things he wants, and it stings to say no. But gradually, the balance in his checking account stops hitting 0 before payday. The constant knot in his stomach when bills arrive starts to loosen. He begins to feel something he hasn't felt in years: financial control. Now he no longer begs for advances or borrows money. He's even planning his upcoming vacation without creating new debt. Now, here's my challenge to you. Look, you can keep lying to yourself about your financial situation, or you can face reality today. Are you living like Eric was, drowning in a lifestyle you can't afford? Or are you ready to build actual financial freedom? These 4 habits will transform your financial life. Budget, using the 50-30-20 rule. Question all regular expenses ruthlessly. Live below your means, not above them. Build an emergency fund no matter what. Financial freedom isn't about being rich. It's about having options. It's about sleeping well at night. It's about not dreading the mail because it might contain bills you can't pay. It's about living on your own terms instead of being held hostage by debt. The path isn't complicated, but it is difficult. It requires you to make tough choices now for a better life later. It means saying no to things you want today so you can have what you need tomorrow. Which of these habits are you missing? The longer you wait to start, the more money you're flushing down the toilet every single day. Your future self will either thank you for the tough decisions you make today or curse you for the easy ones.